You're listening to Mountain Top Network Radio.
Oh, shit. Here we go. What's it on here now? What's it on here now? What's it on here now? We'll go to another dimension. That's all we're gonna do. We're gonna jump the minute. What's your big dad? Yo, what's up here? Oh, shit. Yeah, let's give it a click, y'all. Evansville click now. The Evansville click now. The Evansville click, y'all. Evansville is shit down. Evansville is click now. Play a little bit of stuff. We'd like to thank the fame and rock the Lord just for doing some more for each and every one of us. Sweet Ladonda. Don't worry, don't bring you back there. You won't see later about me. Y'all just give a little taste, take the book, and don't stop all down. But I'm going to another to fix it up. I'm going to put the body up just a little bit. Let's try to get a little hype. You think right, but I was just talking tonight to the start off each and every one of y'all. Damn, stop it, knock it down.
Top Network Radio.
They said I'm calling in this school. They said I could never talk good sports radio. But I told them, so I found out
it's a radio for speaking.
So I saw the light talking sports radio. So I thought about starting Red T Sports Provider. People are saying,
you can see how you have progressed in the show, and I'll tell you what, man, it shows. I mean, it totally shows.
And our callers are saying this. Right? And what you think about the Red T Sports Provider?
No. The show seems really good. You seem like you have a lot of fun. That's why I called in, and you both know your sport. So it's always fun talking to people that know their sport. That's why I like to call whenever I get a chance.
And after I introduce my guests, they say,
for that big intro, I don't know whether to make to my agent or have you call my mom.
Our guests are saying this.
Your broadcast always edifies, and y'all were inspirational. You're unselfish. You don't whitewash anything. You deal with the real problems and issues, whether they popular or unpopular.
And they say, I'm sounding like this great legend that had a mouthpiece in the radio business.
Man, you talking sports over there like TV Green, man. That's what I like about Red T Sports Provider.
Well, most of all, this.
Hey, Fred, what you think about the Red T Sports Provider?
Hey, when you tell them Red T, if they ears ain't used to great talk radio, they need to admit, because at the end of the day, being different ain't being wrong. It's just being who you are. If they scared to be who they are, they probably should be listening to your show anyway.
Why tweet about it when you can talk about it on the Red T Sports Provider? Believe that, baby. March with me.
Yeah, baby. We live, y'all, right here. It's the Red T Sports Revival. I'm Tavon Fennell Sr., and I'm sitting with my man, Paulie at Green 34. Play your party. Let's get right into it. We not going to shake and jive, and we not going to ooh-ah bleed. We going to talk about why this Washington football team didn't set DC free yesterday. I want to hear from y'all. 703-496-4545 is the number, or you can click on that video link and you can join the conversation. Don't come in for the condition. This for real talk, real folk only. Yesterday, the Washington football team was bad. It was more than Dwayne Haskins that was bad. Now, for all you people that want to come on here and slay Dwayne Haskins, I can't stop you from saying nothing about that. But what I can say this is, respect the man, though. Respect the man, because he still is a man despite his flaws. And any one of y'all that's listening right now, that's living in a glass house, throwing stones, well, I'm gonna let Party just go ahead with this morning. Good morning, Party. Good morning, bro.
Hail to the W, man. Hail to the W, man. What? You know what? Yesterday was an emotionally draining day. You know, it's the end to an emotionally draining week. You know, so I don't know, man. Hey, my prayers going out to Mr. Dwayne Haskins, because he definitely needed, man. You know, that young man succumbed to a lot of pressure yesterday. A lot of pressure. And he didn't get a lot of help. That's for damn sure. Didn't get a lot of help yesterday. I don't know. Overall, I think the whole team came out kind of tight. You know what I mean?
And Paulie, if they would have joined us on episode 451, y'all could go catch that on YouTube. They would have known, listen here, they would have known. We spoke about this. We spoke about things to come. We spoke about this Teddy Bridgewater. Did not warn the people that if the Washington football team was going to be successful, they had to stop Teddy Bridgewater and company. And they would have to stop their deep attack. And what did he start doing? He started sitting in the pocket, and he started doing what? He started having that deep attack on them.
Yeah, but you know what?
Go ahead.
That was all playing off of them being able to run the ball, though. That is 10-play drive, all runs, right down the field. You know, so that opened things up for them. And, you know, for second week in a row, you know, and pretty much most of the season, you know, teams who have committed to the run game have been able to run against us. Unlike our team, when we're successful on the run, you know, we don't commit to the run, as we've seen yesterday. At one time, I think we had 87 yards rushing and 37 yards passing. But still, we only ended up with 16 rushes.
And let me also make a point. You know, it's a couple of drives where they went for it on fourth down and they failed. And they could have kicked the field goal. And that could have been 6 points going late into that fourth quarter. And I'll say this, not to defend the youngin', it's amazing how when they put Haneke in the game, that they kind of spread those wide receivers out a little bit more. Same thing they did in the second half of the Seattle game with Dwayne Haskins. And I was shocked that they didn't come out in the first half and continue the same formula that they had for Dwayne in that second half of the Seattle game. It seemed to me that they put that young boy in this compact type offense. And the only thing that was good for the Washington football team in the first half was the run. After that, I mean, let's call it for what it is. Yeah, Dwayne Haskins sucked the whole game. Yeah, he sucked in the first half. Y'all don't have to sit there and beat a hole in my head. I saw the game too. But at the end of the day, though, let's make sure we call these wide receivers out, because we knew going into this game, okay, that Terry McLaurin was going to be out of the game, right? So we already knew that they was going to double team Logan Thomas at every little given chance that they could get. And that's what they did. And the other wide receivers had to make a play. Most of all, they had to catch the ball. Now, Was Dwayne Haskins in rhythm? Hell no. I don't even know why they let that young boy start. Because he was out of rhythm. His passes was off. They was high. They was too low to get under. It was a whole bunch of mama say, mama Maku saw, Paulie, up in there.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna say this, man. First of all, you know, I'm gonna give the Jay Gruden tip of the hat to Carolina, you know, and their defense. They had a good game plan. And that game plan, you heard the announcers talking about it yesterday. They played a 3-3-5 defense. Basically, 3 down linemen, you know what I mean, 3 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs with a hybrid strong safety / linebacker. And what they did was they flooded all the things that don't. You notice, any player that went to McKissick or Gibson or Thomas, they automatically had 3 people around them. So they went into that game with the game plan of we're going to take away the think and dunk out of this offense. And as an offensive coordinator, you have to see that. So you have 1 or 2 things to do. You either say, I'm going to push the ball downfield, you know what I mean, to spread them out a little more, or I'm going to lean on the run game. And he should have leaned on the run game. Because Gibson came back Gibson came back and he was running like he never was out. You know,
Right, exactly. And also, Paul, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, like you said, and this is no excuse for Dwayne. Dwayne played horrible. You know what I mean? He was off. I mean, that was easy to see. He played horrible, but he didn't get a lot of help. He didn't get
Right. And I said during the game, Paulie, I was like, why they not running double slants and drag routes with these wide receivers? You run slants and drag routes, it kind of jam them up in the middle of the field when they crossing over, which could have made plays to get those wide receivers and even the tight end open. And they didn't do that. They was waiting for that screen. They was waiting for Washington to run the scheme to McKissick or to the wide receivers all day. They was calling that play out, even if it was the slant screen or the straight across to the side screen. They was waiting for it all day long.
They took away the thinking dog. They took that away when they forced that in. But we didn't never react to that. We kept trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. You know? And I don't know, man. I just don't like. I don't like the overall game plan. And it ain't just this week. It's not just this week. We been seeing this all year long. We haven't had a opening drive score all season long. Opening drive touchdown all season long. So this is a problem that has to be rectified, and they better do it real quick because after next Sunday there is no tomorrow. You do it or you don't. And the Eagles are a dangerous team right now.
And let me say this while I got it up on the screen. Another thing, you take away that fumble on that punt, which led to the touchdown, we could have been talking about a different ball game. And let's not say that the defense played bad, but they didn't stop them from scoring. They didn't stop them from putting 3 points up on the board. I don't give a damn how quick the offense put them back on the field. And Chase Young, he played a hell of a game yesterday. And his teammates, they played a hell of a game yesterday. They tried. They kept us in this game big time. So kudos, hats off to the defense. But at the end of the day, you know, as much as you try, what really matters in the end is that W or that L. And in the Washington football team case, they left out of FedEx Field with that L. Being that said, Paulie, you know, we could go back and forth, man, about what was right and what was wrong.
Real quick, too, let's throw this out here, too, man. Hey, the officiating was horrible yesterday, man. Horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Horrible yesterday.
Yeah.
The first turnover on Dwayne, how do you throw the ball 10 yards down the field and you call it a fumble? Regardless if the man got his hands on the ball or he got his hands on his arm, Dwayne Haskins still had enough control of the ball to down the field. The last time I checked, that's an incomplete pass. So for them to allow that to play, for them even not to blow the whistle on it and allow that to play was crazy. But then you come back on that Mike Davis fumble, the whistle clearly was blown after the ball was on the ground. So to say it was a dead ball, to say it was a dead ball is one thing. But to say that it wasn't a fumble, that was crazy. If anything, it should have been our ball on the spot where we picked the ball up. Because they didn't blow the whistle until Reeves picked that ball up and started to run.
Started running. Yeah, so I mean, we can say it was the officiating too, but at the end of the day, though,
I'm not blaming it on the officiating. I'm not. I'm just saying that was bad officiating yesterday, and it had a 5%, 5% damages to the game. I'm not saying that was the reason why we lost, but come on, when you come down to week 15 in these big games, officiating got to be better, man. When it comes to these turnovers and stuff, you let that play out. You let that play out, and then you take it a replay, and then you overturn it or you uphold it. You don't blow a play dead, especially when it comes to a running back. It's one thing if you got a quarterback that's up in the grass or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? And just like that, like I said, an interception. You remember at the end of that first half with what's my man, Bridgewater. That same thing. Chase Young gets his hands on the ball. Bridgewater still is able to get that pass off, and we intercepted it. Now, if that pass would have hit the ground, they would have called an incomplete pass on that. But it was the same exact play as happened. You see what I'm saying? Crazy,
yeah, man.
I'm not
I
blaming on the officiating, but I ain't blaming on the officiating. But
they did mess up some calls. Hey, B. Bruno said, "I'm not understanding why do we come out so flat." That's coaching, man. That's I don't give a damn who the quarterback is. That's coaching. And me personally, I don't think the defense came out flat. They came out with the energy that they needed for this type of game. But the offense, it was like, and at the end of the day, that's coaching. That's coaching. They got to be prepared. And if they saw that Dwayne Haskins wasn't in rhythm, this rhythm, he just out of singing rhythm. It just didn't show up on Sunday. They were saying this in practice. And they was hoping that he could shake it off. And Ron Rivera even said it in the press conference.
Run the damn ball. Run the ball. Run the damn ball. That was easy yesterday.
That was the fall yesterday. But they didn't escape because at the end of the day, I mean, usually I don't get in the stats number, but when you want to look at it, Antonio Gibson, he had 10 carries for 61 yards. When the Washington football team runs for over 100 yards with one running back, they have a high rate of success for winning football games. That didn't happen yesterday.
Run the ball, man. That was simple. Run the ball. They never stopped the run from the opening whistle. Run the ball.
And I'll also say this. In the second half of that game, I started to see flashbacks of what was that Bama we had the coach Jay Gruden and his offense because they just went past happy. Look how many pass attempts Dwayne Haskins had. I mean, you asked this man to go out there and throw 28 times and he had no rhythm.
Man, run the damn ball, man.
Run the ball. When you run the ball, it sets up so many things. It sets up the play action. It sets up where you can do your screens that they like to do. So many things if they just run the ball. And I'll stand on this.
We barely play action because we barely run the ball.
Because we barely run the ball. You can't set up the play action if you don't run the damn ball.
I mean, what was the point of having Gibson back? To have another receiver out of the backfield? Run the ball, man. I mean, that was simple, man.
All for killers say they did come out flat with the defense too. And I think they played pretty balanced, man. They was going neck and neck with Carolina for a minute. But it was around that third possession is where they counted the buck because they was tired. They just got off the field.
I wouldn't say they came out flat. They came out tight. Came out a little tight. But that's what
You didn't turn your camera around. He upside down, Paulie upside down right now. We gonna get him straight when he come back. But I mean, you know, at the end of the day, when we talk about this, did you flip your camera around, Paulie? But at the end of the day, when it comes down to this, you know, I really think that, you know, the Washington football team, I mean, Paulie, flip the camera around. You upside down. You flip to the left. We might have lost Paulie. But at the end of the day, when it all comes down to it, the Washington football team, they didn't seize the moment. I want to read some of these comments while we try to get Paulie straight back with us again. Bruno, he said the thing about I'm not understanding why we come out so flat. Brian Langford say, let me play devil's advocate. Alex took snaps with the first Friday. Haskins didn't. The initial plan was for Alex to play, and then in the 11th hour, it was run out there with Haskins. You know what, Brian Langford? That was a good analogy right there. Y'all make sure y'all go follow him on Twitter at Brian Ain't Lying and check out his show. Real good show for the people, man. And I invite anybody else that got a show out, you want to come on, the telephone number is up. The phone lines is open. 703-496-4545 is the answer. Robbie Gross from Sports on the Hill podcast said, okay, we appreciate that. I want to hear your insight, Robbie. Rollins Scott say, how about them Cowboys? You Obama. Good morning, William Jackson. I see you tuning in this morning. I appreciate you so much tuning in, man. Happy holidays to you, brother. I appreciate you. Let's get your comments up. Jerry Sutton say, Haskins doesn't see the field well, and the wide receivers were open, but Scott Turner gets away with the run too soon. Run the damn ball. He's too pass happy trying to audition for a head coaching job instead of staying with the run when it's working. When we run for 100 yards a game, we win. Tom Casey, he say Haskins is a bust. Oh, man, you got to leave that man alone, man. Scott Turner needs to create a scheme for Gibson. That's coming for B. Bruno. Bruno, call in if you can. 703-496-4545 is the answer. I want to hear from y'all. Y'all make sure y'all go share the post on whichever platform you on. You can check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Twitter, you name it. I'm not doing all that Apple's, iTunes, and all. I'm not doing all that stuff no more. You catch me where you catch me at. Right? We live right here at Rev T Sports Revival. And I tell it to the young. I tell it to the old. You got to let that burgundy go fill up your soul. But listen here, at the end of the day, though, we got to lay our burdens down by the riverside about Dwayne Haskins. I want to bring something that's definite and that's good and true to you all. And I want to call on Sister Shirley Caesar, the Pastor Shirley Caesar, the let me help you all remember that is that we ain't going to see Dwayne Haskins back. Don't hit it, Shirley, hit it. See, he ain't coming back. He ain't coming back no more. And for all you Dwayne Haskins lovers, just understand, he ain't coming back. He ain't coming back, Paulie. He ain't coming back. Oh, Dwayne. Oh, Dwayne. Oh, he ain't coming back. He ain't coming back. He ain't coming back. He won't back. He won't be back. He won't be back. He won't be back.
You think that's it, man? It's done? You think it's done?
He ain't coming back no more. He ain't coming back no more. His time in Washington has passed. I'm not going to slay the young buck. He did what he did. We fall down. We get back up. We all been young before. Don't none of y'all men up here act like y'all don't like having no black moon or no white moon in the stripper club up in your face. But at the end of the day, what he did was wrong. It was immature off the field, and it led to his immaturity on the field. And so at the end of the day, I just want y'all to know that Dwayne Haskins ain't coming back to DC no more as a quarterback. Now he might come back to go to his mama house. He might come back to go to his daddy house. But the house that they told him that you was going to be the leader of in the DMV, he ain't coming back. No more. No more, Paulie. No more. And you know what? Pastor Shirley hit it again. Hit it again. Say it again. He ain't going to lay down by the river in the Anacostia. He won't be back. No more. No more. When that in that city, he ain't coming back no more. No more.
Hey,
Go ahead, Paul.
Shane,
Let me stop in the rain.
damn shame that yeah, like this, man. You know, I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. I don't even know what to say about that, man. Still on this
It's
board,
nothing
so,
you can say. Hold on, man. I got Robbie Gross, Sports on the Hill podcast. What's up, Robbie Rob? What's good with you, Chay?
Nothing much. It's all good. I had to jump on this morning, and it's a rough morning for a Washington football team or Redskins fans or whatever we want to call ourselves today. But it's it's difficult for a whole lot of reasons. I mean, we sort of failed at every facet. I think our defense was the best. Our offense failed. Our special teams failed. And it's disappointing, right? We had a big opportunity here and we let it go. And I think that that's really what's going to come down to it, where it's like we have 2 weeks. We win one of those games, we're in. We didn't win either of them. We got one more week. If we lose all three, it's not a good look. I know we weren't expected to make the playoffs this year, but the expectation, if all you have to do is win one of three, to get in, we should be able to do that. And at this point, I don't know if I want Haskins under center, for the next week. We gave him his shot. It's not like I ever hated the guy. I always liked him. I believed in him. I hoped that he was going to be the future. But there is, we gave him some opportunities. And the idea was what Coach said, we were going to move away from Haskins if he didn't give us the best opportunity to win. And we're going to try to put the best person out there. And right now, the backup, I know that there's not a lot of film on him, and who knows who he really is. But could he win us one game? I don't know.
yeah, hey, he's Heineke, man. He's from around my way. Hey, that's Hampton Boulevard's finest, man. I pretty much seen him grow up out here at ODU, man. Heineke, you know what? He's a lot like Kyle Allen. You know what I mean? Fast, they ran that pistol offense, and so he's used to that offense, man. So I got support and trust behind him. It just, man, like you said, man, it's disappointing. Not disappointing. I felt emotionally drained yesterday.
Yeah,
I was numb to it all.
Yeah, and you know what? Hey, Paul, let's see it. My wife said I was so upset yesterday. I wasn't saying nothing. Guess what time I went to bed yesterday, y'all? By 8:30, I was gone. I got off of social media. I didn't want to be a part of the Dwayne Haskins slaying. I didn't want to be a part of the slaying of the team. And that wasn't for no perks or no privileges. It's just, I've seen this scenario so many times before. Tina Marie, bless her soul, she would sing a song. She would say, call it deja vu. And I've been here before. I've been here before with the quarterback drama. I've been here before with my mind worrying and my heart, feeling a little bit trouble, worrying about if the Washington football team or the Redskins gonna make it to the playoffs. I've been here before where I can't think right because the coach ain't doing something right. I've been here before when I get frustrated because the quarterback ain't doing something right. I've been here before when the special teams ain't doing something right. So at the end of the day, call it deja vu, my brothers and sisters this morning. Can I get a witness? Somebody call it deja vu. We done seen this before. We done felt this before. But at the end of the day, though, if it's a cure for this, I don't want it. If it's a cure for this, I don't need it. Because at the end of the day, guess what? I'm still a fan. I still love the Washington football team. I still hold up that burgundy and gold bloodstained banner. I don't care who the coach is. I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't care about nothing. But in the final minutes, in the final while, I be walking around here talking about believe. All I want to do is believe that we can find the formula to win that Super Bowl.
Hey, well, look, man. Look.
Sorry.
You want to throw out Tina Marie, but Rick James and Tina Marie got a song called Fire and Desire. And we better have some fire and goddamn desire on Sunday, or we going to be looking like Charlie Brown in the Peanut game. So a bunch of sad movie faces. They better come out with some fire and desire on Sunday, man. All this Haskins stuff, it don't even matter no more. This team better come out with some damn fire and desire on Sunday, man. It's what it boils down to, man. I'm just tired of the Haskins stuff. I'm tired of the coach got cancer stuff. I'm tired of all this other stuff. This team better come out with some fire and damn desire on Sunday to be champions. I didn't see that yesterday. I didn't see no fire and desire yesterday because of who was playing quarterback. The team looked tight. They looked kind of lost. I need some emotion. Carolina came out and they was playing like they was playing for a playoff berth.
Right.
That's what pissed me off about it.
So moving forward, Robbie Gross, I know y'all gonna do Sports on the Hill podcast this afternoon. What time y'all gonna go on? And I know y'all gonna start talking about these Eagles. Let's talk about this young quarterback. What's his name? Curls or whatever the world. Talk about that young Bama real quick, Robbie Gross, and tell people where they can find you and Carol Porter tonight on y'all show.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I think that I agree with what was being said, where we just need to get that fire back. Like, for me, it was just, there was no intensity. It's the time where we really miss having fans in the stadium. I feel like if we had fans rooting us on and pushing us, to victory, I think it may have been a different game. It's just difficult for fans, but we've now moved this next game. It will be flexed. It was the first time in decades that the Washington football team didn't have a home game, right? So, a primetime home game, and now we're going to have a primetime road game, and Philadelphia's going to want to play spoilers. They're pretty mad about week one. I know they've got nothing to play for, but this 8 o'clock game that's going to be next Sunday is going to be pivotal. It's going to be whether we're going to lose 3 in a row or if we're not. But tonight on Sports on the Hill podcast, Carol and myself, I think we're going to start at 9 o'clock. It's going to be a later show. We're going to go on for the first hour. We're going to dissect these last 2 losses. We're going to preview this Eagles game. The Eagles are formidable. I don't think that we should try to overlook them. They will want revenge, as I said, for week one. They want to prove it. They want to be spoilers. They want to be on primetime TV. And we've got to get this primetime TV monkey off of our back because too much. We had 2 games that were flexed to later, but none of the games have been night games yet, right? So the night games are a different animal. When everyone's watching, all the pressure is on. Can you rise to the occasion? I'm not sure Dwayne Haskins can, so I'm curious where they're going to go. I'm hoping Alex Smith can play, but I think the injury, as was said in the comments, may be more serious than they're letting on. All the wide receivers, I see Jerry mentioning that Sims can't be on punt returns. I think it was a mistake. I'm not sure who is the best punt returner for us at this point. Okay, yeah, no one's blown out no one's taken that job, right? No one's gone out and really taken it and run with it, as they say. But I think that losing Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, is huge. I mean, he really opens up so much of the offense. He draws double teams on the other team's defense, which exposes things, as you were talking about earlier with the slant game, and some of these sort of crossing routes where they mix and match them up. I think people fly to Scary Terry. That leaves somebody open, whether it's your tight end, whether it's one of the other wide receivers, or the running back out of the backfield. Those options seem to move a lot better on the field when we have Terry McLaurin that they've got to account for. And I think, so somebody saying that they think the Eagles lay down and stick it to Dallas. I would love that. I would love for them to be like, let's not make it a competition. But, for me, it's going to be always a competition, right? The Eagles are always going to want to show up, especially even at home, even if they don't have fans. They're never going to lay down in my book. So we got to take it. I think if we step on their throat early, I think that's going to be the key. I think if we can come up there and assert dominance, I think the Eagles won't really try to join up to that level of energy. But if we show that we're a weak duck, we're right there waiting to be sort of shown up on national TV, they're gonna rise to that occasion and try to take it to the Washington football team. So I think that's the key, is we got to get a fast start. And for me, we'll talk about that. We also got to talk about these Wizards. Russell Westbrook two times in a row.
Tell me this. What's your opinion on Scott Turner? What's your opinion on Scott Turner and how he's calling the offense?
Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, I know that he's young to the game. He's still young. He can still make adjustments.
He needs a fullback.
Yeah.
Scott Turner needs a fullback. In order for that offense to be successful, he needs a fullback. I don't give a damn what nobody say. If you're not going to use a fullback, then you need to take one of them big back tight ends that you got, and you need to drop them in that backfield along with one of them running backs every now
I
and then.
hear you, Rev. I hear you, but you're talking about personnel. I'm talking about how he's constructing his game plan and his play calling as he have right now. That's why I was asking my man, what's your opinion on how he's constructing his game plans and his play calling throughout the game? Because I thought yesterday was his worst game plan and play calling by far this season.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely went away from the run real quick. So I think that and I don't necessarily think the running game was working the way that they had constructed it, and so I think that they kind of abandoned it early. But I think you just got to have many different options. I think, we ran the Wildcat once. I saw it didn't work. We never went back to it. I think you try to run multiple plays off of single sets. It's better because then you can sort of mix and match it. You can, sort of the run pass option. You can, I think Logan Thomas, he was actually a quarterback. I think you could use that more. I think that there are options. We saw early in the season a play where Logan Thompson was able to pass it down the field off of, a running potential play where, there's so many different options that are, elements of the Wildcat you could take. I think that they could take a couple more risks. I'd like to see some different risks in the running game, not just running it up the middle. I think, some of the zone runs were working and then they went away from them. I agree with, Rev earlier saying that we went away from slants. I think, Terry McLaurin gives you more options in the slant game. I'm not sure that the people that we had out there yesterday were the best for that. But, I think we did go away from the running game way too early. And I think, we got to get Logan Thomas, going real early. I mean, I think he's a phenomenal tight end. And I think that there's a lot more options that you can run, especially because he can run, he can, catch, he can throw. I think there's a lot you could do with that.
Man, we live right here at Red T Sports Revival. That's Robbie Grow Sports on the Hill podcast. Hey, Robbie, tell the people where they can find you before I let you go, champ.
Yeah, I've got time if you want to talk Wizards. If I got time this morning, so I don't know if you wanted to do a segment on them as well, or if it was just.
Well, I really didn't have the intentions of going into the Wizards right now because I really just wanted to hit home on this thing. But since you here, go ahead, I was about to call you my you know what I'm saying, but you go ahead. I mean, we live. I mean, if you want to hit on it, go ahead and do your thing. You know what it is. My concept, people the concept. But at the end of the day, though,
white boy.
I mean, you know what I'm saying. You know that's where I'm
I'm the only white broadcaster on an all-black,
I mean, I'm just saying, you know,
Hey,
I gave
Rob,
you guys a purple award a long time ago. You always
that's what he meant to say, man. Hey, he meant to say, play that funky music, white boy.
yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to say. But I mean, my cousin, me cousin for I mean, I don't hate or discriminate on nobody, man. If you want to call in and join the show, I got the telephone, the lines open, the screen is open. But at the end of the day, though, you know, you want to talk about this Washington Wizards basketball team right now. Westbrook, out of the first 3 games, he done came out the gate. He done had triple doubles. He averaging almost 18 points, almost 13 rebounds, and damn near 10 assists a game. So at the end of the day, is he putting the work in? Yes. But here's the problem though. He in a new scenario, right? And they are the Washington Wizards, Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. They in this how could I say, shall we dance? Shall we dance? Or let me flip it. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you, getting to like you, hoping that you like me. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Robbie and Paulie, I'm not too much concerned about what the Washington Wizards doing right now. You can come to me and say, well, Rev, what do you think about the Washington Wizards around mid-season? Because at this point, I'm going to stand on this. The Washington Wizards became a better team with Russell Westbrook. They became a team that when you look at them and you think about the Wizards when it comes to the playoffs with John Wall, you was looking at a 7-4 8 seed team. With Westbrook on the team right now, you're looking at them at least being in the top 4 when it comes to the seeding in the playoffs. Now, hold me to that.
Hey, Rev.
Yeah.
They became a team with real expectations.
Thank you. Thank you for clearing my crazy words up. Robbie, your thoughts?
Right. So I think that they could be a 5 seed, but right now they're the worst team in the NBA, right? So we don't know. They're 0-3. The reality is Russell Westbrook, as you were saying, he's averaging 18, 13, and 13.5. He's only played 2 games, and both of them were triple doubles. But the reality is they were both losses, including losses to Orlando, where we've now, I believe, lost 6 in a row to this team. We had an opportunity last night to get revenge on that team to see how we could play without going through Russell Westbrook. We're not relying on him. And we were crushing it. It was a really incredible game. They had just put a dominant third quarter together. They were up, I believe, 17 points going into the fourth quarter. And they still found a way to lose because what's consistent is they're missing free throws, missing 3-pointers when it matters, but most importantly, the defensive stops, especially down low. They can't stop anybody down low. And it's just, they're just a porous defense. And, so it doesn't matter if someone's putting up a triple-double if you're just letting them outscore you, right? Because stats only go so far. And here's the real problem is Wizards fans are at each other's throats right now. There are the Brody fans, the people that just came over because they're Russell Westbrook stans and only love Russell Westbrook, and they will root for whatever team he is and throw the rest of that team in, under the bus. And,
Westbrook fan here, that would be me.
Right. So, but there are plenty of them, but some of them have come over to the Wizards, groups on Facebook and basically started talking trash about the team and what they are. Because when they came in initially, they weren't beloved and brought into the fan base with open arms saying, hey, you just took Wall, one of the most beloved top 5 players in our franchise, right? And you just, we just traded him away. And they didn't see that. They said, oh, you just brought this MVP caliber player to the team. We don't care who you lost in the trade. You should love us and love that fans want to join your shitty team. And that's not, but the fans of the team who've been fans for 20, 30 years like myself didn't want to hear that, right? So it started off with this beef. and the beef is growing, right? Because they're saying, hey, you just love Beal because he piles on the stats, and then we're saying you just love Russ because he does triple doubles, and then it just creates this Rev, you know this. Wizards fans were already fighting themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like, you add fuel to the fire here, and suddenly, if you don't get any wins, the wins are the cure. We all know the cure. They can win. This will all go away. But if they're not,
You know what the real problem is? This
What
is
is
the real
it,
problem. And you said it. You said it, brother man. You said it early when you was talking. You said they can't stop nobody down low, and they can't get defensive stops. This is the same talk that Wizards fans been saying for the past since Scott Brooks has been here. They can't get any defensive stops. So at the end of the day, it's like saying, you know, the game is not changing. It's just the players. So the defense is the problem, and it's always been the problem. So until they can fix the defense, you're starting to see it doesn't matter who you put in that point guard, you know, or who you teaming up with Bradley Beal. Because until they start getting defensive stops and actually can stop somebody in the post, you know, they're gonna keep having this problem. They haven't stopped nobody in the post since Nene left.
yeah,
right. And let me say this: not only just with the Wizards has defense been lackadaisical, but all over the NBA. And Robbie, you know I've been saying this for a couple of years now. The NBA has changed. They really don't play defense anymore. It's this up tempo. Let's see who can outshoot the next team with 3-pointers, or let's see how quick we can go down the court and make a spectacular dunk. I really think the fundamentals of defense when it comes to the NBA as a whole is starting to go out the window. And you say, well, Rev, how can you say something like that? Well, damn, take a look at the scores of the games. 130 to 115, 127 to 100. At the end of the day, all of these teams are taking up this concept of these high-scoring games and being lackadaisical for defense. This is not like when in the late 80s and the early 90s, where defense was a thing. You were seeing games 88 to 90. I mean, if you got to a game that was 88 to 90, that was a hard-fought game.
The key stat in the NBA, in this new age NBA, the key stat is field goal percentage.
Right.
All these teams shoot in volume. They want a volume score. You know, just the Golden State formula. Golden State will score so much, they will put pressure on you. They have to keep up scoring with them. And that's when their defense came in. Remember when they had that run of championships, they had the best field goal percentage defense in the league. You know, so it's not really they're playing defense, but it's a gimmick style of defense where you want to keep the field goal percentage down.
Right. Well, I think that there's a couple of reasons why the scoring is up. One of them is the NBA wants that. So they've put in all these rules. So what was used to be called, or not a foul, just good defense, is now a foul. What was used to be called a hard foul is now potentially a technical or even higher, right? So, like, yeah, and they've changed also the shot clock, right? So before, when you got a rebound, it used to go to 24. Now it goes to 14. So everyone's got to get into their sets faster, right? So they're trying to get that score up because that's what they think is the most exciting part of basketball is the scoring, right? Not the defense. So they're doing everything they can to try to get more points out of these players. So,
and can I say to that, Robbie, not to cut you off, the NBA, when you really look at it, I mean, if you really want to know where today's game is coming from and where it has came from, you got to give credit to the Harlem Globetrotters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, no, real talk. I know somebody was damn, man. You going too far with that.
Get the hell out of here.
But I think Golden State Warriors is really what they were looking at. They liked when they Golden State
Warriors.
Yeah, they like that fast tempo. But what Globetrotter have you been
Don Nelson.
less than 100 points?
Don Nelson. Donnie Nelson. Johnny
No,
Nelson.
Golden State Warriors, yeah, they started. Hold on. You want to go further? Now, y'all, I keep telling y'all people, I know what the hell I'm talking about when it comes to sports. Let me tell you who really started it in the NBA outside of paying tribute to the Globetrotters. It was the Seattle Supersonics. Gary Payton, that little shrimp. Okay.
Man.
Sean
Denver Nuggets with Stat Lever, Alex English, when Dan Issel was the coach. Come on, man. I mean, this style of play now, a lot of Western Conference teams used to play like this. This is old ABA basketball, B. You know what I mean? This is old ABA basketball. That's all. The whole thing is like
Paulie. You starting to show your age now. And see, I wasn't going to tell nobody that your ass was really a DJ in your present life. He was a rapper. Don't he look like a rapper? He look like he about to go tow somebody a car right now and rap while he's doing it.
I look like I'm about to ride up to D.C. and go snipe one of the damn Washington football team. That's what I look like. I look like I'm about to go after the Knicks. That's what I look like, man. I'm a pissed off. I'm a pissed off sports fan this morning, man. That's what I'm looking like, bro. I'm in the all black. I'm in mourning. My eyes is bloodshot red because I've been up all night just pondering what the hell happened yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you. Like that Washington Wizards game was supposed to be my savior of the night. It was supposed to be like finally we get all those losses behind us, something good to talk about. But like it doesn't matter who's playing, as we were talking about at point guard. It's the defense and the coach, because the coach Scott Brooks likes that OKC style, likes that Golden State Warrior style where he's going to try to outscore you, right? And so unfortunately, I think that we need some defense in pivotal moments. They need to be able to sell themselves out. And the same thing happened in the Washington football team game. Is like there were a couple of moments where we needed to sell ourselves out to make the play, and it just never happened. We got close, and I thought that we made a game of it at the end, but I kind of thought this game was over in the first quarter. I stayed through and watched it through like a true fan does. But
hold on, Robbie, are you talking about the Washington football team game or the Wizards?
Well, no, sorry. The Washington football team game.
I mean, because you say about the first quarter, you was ready to tap out. I'm just saying you had deja vu again. But look though, y'all, we've been doing this for almost an hour. The Red T Sports Revival. I'm Tavon Fennell. Hashtag Rev T is where you can find me at all over social media at WFT Rev on Twitter. That's Paulie, y'all. Play y'all Paulie at Green34 on Twitter. And then that's my man, Robbie Gross. Go ahead and tell them about what you doing, man, and what time they can check y'all tonight.
Yeah, 9 o'clock tonight. We're going to start talking Washington football team. We're going to break down those last two losses and what we got to do to win this division. We still got a shot at it, so we'll talk about it. We got to have Dujanet on, I think. We're going to have Carol, myself. We're going to have a round table. In hour two, we'll break down those Wizards a lot more. We'll talk about those three losses. Talk about that Westbrook fan base. Talk about how we need to try to come together to get some big wins this week we got 2 games over the Bulls. We got 4 games overall. We'll preview all of that in hour 2. And then soon we got hockey. Hockey's coming back soon, so a lot to talk about.
Oh yeah, they like talking about hockey. They talk about hockey. You ask me about hockey, I say go.
Hey Robbie, I got food for thought for your show tonight. I'm gonna try to tune in. Hey, how many games do we give Scott Brooks before we officially put him on the hot seat? Being here the last contract.
I think if he doesn't come out with at least 3 or 4 wins in the first 10, the conversation's got to start, right? Because you can only fall so far back. They made the move to get the player that he liked. And if the system and he can't put things around it, I know it's been a weird offseason. I know it's a weird year, but he's gonna hit the hot seat pretty quick here, especially because the Westbrook fans really liked him initially, but then they were like, he's trash. And, so even if they're going to start to turn on him and everyone's going to start to turn on him, I mean, Washington Wizards fans have already kind of turned on him before the season ever started. They've wanted him out of here for a year plus probably now. So, it's going to come quick, I think. And, I was hoping that they brought Westbrook in. It would give him some time. I thought they were going to get some wins here. I thought they'd win at least one of these first three. They had opportunities in all three games, and they didn't. But yeah, if you catch us, facebook.com/sportsothp, Sports on the Hill podcast, you can search for that. I have down below sportsothp.com. We put all of our old shows. Find us on all the podcast platforms the next day. So on Tuesday, all the links and all the videos will be on sportsothp.com on Tuesday as well. But yeah, come by. We do live shows. You can comment. Carol Porter III, he does his own live feed as well. You can comment on either of the feeds. We'll get those questions in. We're going to talk football. We'll talk basketball. And then in 2 weeks, we'll start talking hockey again.
And most of all, Robbie, don't stop BSing before you get off the air. Don't act like you ain't going to talk about Dwayne Haskins. Hold on, Pastor Shirley hit it again.
Yes, no, we'll definitely talk about Dwayne. I hope that Smith can play because he's not going to be back no more for sure.
I'm starting to look like Woodrow, though. I got that Woodrow afro.
Yeah, he's got to. I don't even know if he's going to play, but if he plays, he's got to show up because this is his last chance.
Watch it, Rob.
Hail to the W, baby. Hail to the W.
I love you, Robbie. That's Robbie Gross.
All right.
Sports on the Hill podcast. I'll let you later, bro.
All right, love you guys. Have a good one.
I had to, Paulie. That's Robbie Gross, Sports on the Hill podcast. We always appreciate him coming through, him and Carol Porter III. But, Paulie, before we get out of here, man, so say what you got to say to the people, man, on a Monday, man, and let's go.
Look, it's a tough morning, man. Tough morning. It was a tough day yesterday. It was a horrible end to a beautiful Christmas weekend. But guess what? We got one shot left. You know what I mean? We got one bullet in the barrel.
Yeah.
And on a Monday, I just plead out to my Washington football team, let's fire that damn gun.
Man. Hey, hate to say it like that, but fire that gun.
To the W.
That's Paulie, y'all. We appreciate you so much. We see you next week, Paulie. My man. And at the end of the day, y'all, I'm Tavon Fennell. Hashtag WFT Rev is where you can find me at all over social media. I'll tell it to the young. I'll tell it to the old. You got to come to the Rev T Sports Revival to fill up your soul with all that good sports talk. We don't do the condition. We don't report the sports. We just talk about the sports. Again, I'm Tavon Fennell. Hashtag Rev T. Hey, man, y'all love somebody. Believe, baby. March with me. Ow! Love somebody. Love somebody. Love somebody.